Hello, everybody. This is Andrew Hicks, the Director of Innovation and Technology for the Ubaldini Group. Today, we're going to go over how to create campaigns inside of the new paid campaign part of Command. So we revamped that recently. I'm going to go over exactly how to be successful with it and how to get leads for typically right around or under $2. So we're going to jump right into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a paid campaign. So we're just going to sign into Command. And I'm going to do it on my personal side. If you're on a team, the process is really going to be the same. It'll just go through the team's Facebook, however they have it set up. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to my campaigns area here. Now, if you ever get lost on what these different hieroglyphics mean, you can always click on the red KW in the upper left, and that'll expand the side. So if I choose campaigns, you can see it's changed quite a bit. If I scroll down inside of this campaigns area, you can see all the different tips, trainings, all kinds of really, really cool stuff here that you can use. Some social media posts that you can utilize to quickly post to your Facebook or Instagram. But we're going to be doing paid ads. So I'm going to click on Create Campaign in the upper right. From here, I'm just going to click on Paid Ad. And that brings me to the new ad campaign experience. So just a little bit on the interface here. So on the left-hand side, if I click on back to campaigns, that'll take me back into Command. Paid ad campaigns is going to bring me directly to my dashboard where I can choose the type of ad that I want to run. And they're categorized by these little buttons up here. So I can have one where I can show all the objectives, one to just generate traffic to my site, and then one to generate contacts or leads. Over to the left here, if I click on programs, it'll show me any of the other ad campaigns that I've ran previously. And I'll also be able to see all the metrics for it, the views, the clicks. This is just a test I did previously with TikTok ads. Then we have our assets over here. So if I click on that, I can see which Facebook pages are currently connected. I can link a new one on here, or I can view my page details. I can click on leads and see which leads have come through. It'll give their name, phone number, email address, all that information that came in. And then the media library, where I can see any of the assets that I've created within these ads previously, or I can pull directly from designs. So to get started, I'm going to choose dashboard, and I'm going to choose the type of ad that I want to run. Now, this is probably the biggest change with the new ad experience. You'll notice we have Facebook and Instagram. We can only run on both of those platforms. We can't exclude one or the other. So whenever we run ads, by default, it's going to be going to Facebook and Instagram. Now I can advertise a listing, a single image or video. I can also do a listing with multi-images. So this is an important distinction. If I want to add more than one image to my ad, I'll want to choose this multi-image carousel. You'll also want to pay attention to the little badge below where it says includes Facebook lead form. If I choose one of these that has that includes Facebook lead form badge on it, that means that as soon as the consumer clicks on my ad on Facebook, it's going to pop up a little window within Facebook asking if it's okay for me to uh, for the agent to contact that person. It'll have a field for their email address, their phone number, their name, and typically it'll be auto-filled with what they've given Facebook previously. I can do multi listing. So if I wanted to advertise more than one listing, and I can do a non-listing ad. So if I wanted to advertise some kind of new program that's happening to help home buyers, the multi-listing one, if I wanted to advertise all of my listings that I currently have, or if I wanted to do an ad about, what open houses are available this weekend, I could choose that multi-listing one. Down below, we can do one to attract sellers. And these use our landing page lead form. So whatever page they're directed to after clicking on that ad, they're going to have to fill out whatever lead form I have provided on there. Recruit agents and branding, attract sellers, and you'll notice this is a Google ad. So I can also run Google ads from this new campaign experience as well. Now, this isn't really the training for that part. We're just going to go over Facebook ads in this one. For Google ads, I'll do another course on that. You can do one to attract buyers, and this one's a monthly recurring subscription. So if I wanted to run a Google ad every single month and just give it a budget and just set it and forget it, that's the kind of option I would choose. Uh, Again, we've got a listing ad that goes across all ad channels, attracting sellers across all the channels and attracting buyers across all the channels as well. And then also we have our TikTok ads. So we can do a TikTok ad from here as well. It's going to be a non-listing one. The budget for TikTok ads and Google ads is going to be significantly higher than it would be to run a Facebook and Instagram ad. So that's something you want to keep in mind as well. So with that being said, I'm going to do Old Faithful. I'm going to choose the listing. So we're just going to do a single image or video listing that includes that Facebook ad form. That's the quickest, easiest way to get leads. They come in pretty cheap as well. So to get started, I'm going to click on this. And now it's going to ask me to choose the Facebook page that I want to run ads. That's the correct one. So that's all set for me. The next part is I need to choose a listing that I want to run an ad for. Now, you can run an ad on your own listing, or you can ask around your office to see if anybody has a listing that they would allow you to run an ad for. Typically, people are happy to allow you to pay for their marketing for their listings. If you find a listing that's held by a different brokerage, you'll definitely want to reach out to the listing agent and just ask if it's okay if you run an ad on their property. Typically, they'll be happy to allow you to do it. So let's go ahead and find one. I'm going to use my KW site. You can see this one is not used to sell real estate, obviously. But I'm going to go ahead and use my neighborhood, see if we can find something nice here. And yeah, we got quite a few listings here. Let's say we're going to run one on, let's run one on this one. This one looks nice, so I'll click on that one. So yeah, this looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and click right here to bring up more details for the website or for the property. Now, this is where ultimately I want the consumer to go to once they click on the ad. I want to make sure that once they click on the ad's going to be about this house. So they want to see information about this house. If I direct them somewhere else, like just my main search page, they'll probably be frustrated that they're not able to see that house and they'll probably leave and get upset. So I want to make sure that whenever they click on the ad, they're directed immediately to this page with all the property details. Now, even though I'm not the listing agent on this, it has my contact information here to reach out to me. So if they type in a message here and click on Contact Andrew, I'll get that message. I'll get their name, email address, phone number, and I'll be able to follow up with them. The great thing about this is they can click around to any other properties in here, and no matter which ones they click on, it's going to have my information showing up right here. So I'll be following them around while they're looking for homes. So this looks like a great one. I'm just going to copy that address and I'm going to choose the listing here. So I just click on this, please add your listings. I'm going to choose column to filter on, and this is going to be what I'm going to be choosing to search for this property. So I can do it by MLS ID. I can do it by street address. So I'm going to find this property by the MLS ID. That's going to be right down here. I'll click on see all details and I can just select that MLS ID, copy it, and I'm just going to choose MLS ID. And there it is. So I'm going to choose this one, click on done, and it's going to pull in some of that information for me. You'll notice over here on the right, it updates the picture. And this is going to be a preview of what my ad's going to look like throughout the whole process. So if I add any information anywhere else for the ad, it's going to show me a nice little preview of exactly what it's going to look like. So then I've got my listing. I'm going to choose my targeting. So I can target the location from the listing. So the target radius is going to be 15 miles from that listing in all directions. Now I can also choose custom location and I can put in a city or zip code. I can do up to 10 of them. by typing the zip code or the city. I can choose that targeting radius there. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you do advertise in multiple cities or multiple areas, you'll have to increase the budget accordingly because if you have the budget to advertise in one area, but you have it spread across 10, probably not going to be the best results. So this one looks good to me. I'm just going to keep the listing location here. If you live anywhere near the coast or you're advertising a listing that's right by the coast, you'll want to move that further inland. So for the Tampa Bay area, I usually choose the area of Egypt, Lake Lido, and that sits in just the right spot where it captures all of Tampa Bay. Because if I were to advertise a listing over in, let's say, Dunedin or Clearwater, since that's right on the coast, half of the area I'm advertising to is going to be water, and typically fish don't buy houses from what I've seen so far. This, since it's right in the middle of Tampa, should be a-okay. Now, the media type, this is where I can choose to do an image or a video. Now, video typically gets a lot more clicks and a lot more leads. Image does just great. However, video typically does get a lot more, but I do want to make sure that the video that I post is in the correct size and to make sure that it doesn't give away the entire house. Because if somebody can watch a video of an entire walkthrough, they don't really have a reason to click on the ad because they've already seen the house. So if you have a short video that just kind of teases the property and it's professionally done, recommend always using that. And you can upload or you can have it hosted somewhere like YouTube. I'm going to choose image for this one here. And over here to the right, I can click on that drop down and it'll give me a preview of all the different images that I can use for this listing. So I'm just going to use this one. This one looks nice. It doesn't show too much of the house. There we go. So now down below is where we can add in some text. So you can see 5 bed / 3 bath. That's not a really great call to action. Beautiful new home in Tampa, just listed at 844. Really descriptive, but it's probably not going to get too many people to want to click on it. So I'm going to change this body text here. So I'm actually just going to delete everything in here. And you'll notice these fields here, these are merge fields. So it's going to look at the MLS listing and it's going to automatically add the price in. And you can see there's additional options here as well for the country, county, the whole description, first name of myself, the group name, listing agent, listing office name, all kinds of merge fields I can add in here. Now, what I typically find the best results with is not using those, but just putting in a little bit of information about the house. So if we take a look at the property, let's see what some of the best features of it are. So what I want to do is kind of click through and see what the best thing about the house is. It looks really pretty. So I'm going to go into the description here and see. Da, 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 da. And what I can do, I can just take some of this information and I can put it into my description. Just like this. I'm just going to put in a couple of facts about the house that I wanted to talk about. So beautiful, renovated, historic home. Let's do downtown and all amenities. Price to move quickly, we'll say. So now that I've just typed in a list of things that I wanted to talk about, the coolest thing about the new paid ads experience is I can click on this little magic wand and I can have it rewrite this with AI. So I'm just going to click on where it says change style and we can choose the different moods for it. I'm going to say vibrant. Attention all social butterflies and city lovers. This stunningly renovated historic home is just blocks away from downtown, boasting endless amenities. Don't miss out on this steal of a deal. It won't last long. It's better than anything I could write, honestly. That's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'll hit apply, and now it uses that text inside of here. Now, the only other thing I'm going to add in are emojis because they work. As much as I hate to say it, adding emojis into the text and the description really helps break it up and it gets people to actually look at it. So I'm just going to add a couple of emojis here. And wherever I have my insertion point, wherever this is clicked on, is where that emoji is going to go. So I'm going to hit the little emoji guy, and I'm just going to see heart eyes, one of my favorites. We're going to do home. We're going to do city, palm tree, because this is Florida, and it is legally required for us to put a palm tree in. Um, Completely kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to. Um, and the wow. There we go. So I'm going to put this wow. I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to paste it down here. That one. That there. Palm tree. We're just going to space this around. City. And we'll put the house down there. So I'm going to get rid of all the rest of these extra emojis here. I always just put them into one spot and then kind of copy and paste them around, distributing wherever. So that is that part. Super quick and easy. What used to take forever to try to think of something catchy, you can just use AI for it and it works. It works beautifully. Now, the headline, this is one of the most important parts. This is going to be the call to action. This is going to be the what we call the MOFR, the make offer for immediate response. So why they need to click on that learn more button, what they're going to get from clicking on that learn more button, and why they have to do it right now. So I'm going to put something here like um, private tour available. So we can say private tour limited appointments available. There we go. So having some kind of scarcity in it helps people want to actually click on the button. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to hit the little face guy here and or the emoji guy. And I'm going to use the finger pointing to the right. That way it almost points directly at that learn more button. So you can see right there, private tour, limited appointments available. All that an exclamation mark. There we go. And we are not misleading anybody because there are limited appointments available. We can only take so many in a day. So that should help out with that. But if there is some feature of the property that is just amazing, that's what you want to tease inside of this headline. So they have to actually click on it to view the amenity and see what it looks like. Now, now that we've completed that part, we now have our post lead submission destination. So this is where it's going to be taking them to once they click on this ad. Now, if they click on learn more and it takes them somewhere completely different, they're probably going to be upset. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my listing page here. And I want to make sure that I search for this property on my KW website. That way I show up here on the side. So all I have to do now is just copy this URL in the address bar. And I'm just going to paste it right in here. And there we go. Always a good idea to click on preview URL just to verify that it's going to the right place. There's been many times where I leave off something or cut something out. So you'll always want to double check that by hitting preview URL. Make sure it's going to where you want it to. That way it shows up there. Now, once we've done that, we can choose our lead settings. And this is probably the most important part because if you generate hundreds of leads, but you don't call or follow up with any of them, it's kind of pointless. So you can have it assign a tag to these people as soon as they come in. What I like to do is I like to add a tag for the specific property that they came in from and a tag showing that they're Facebook leads. So this was 422 East Forest Avenue. So I'm just going to do 422 East Forest Avenue. That way I can quickly and easily see what property they clicked on whenever they're in my database. I'm going to do create as new tag, and that creates a brand new tag. I'm also going to choose Facebook ad lead. There we go. So I'm going to choose Facebook ad lead. That way I can quickly categorize and market to all my past Facebook ad leads. Now, probably the most important part is this smart plans. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that they get something as soon as they click on it. Maybe as soon as they come in as a lead, we're not able to reach out to them because we're in another appointment. So we're not able to call them immediately. We want them to get something. And the best practice here is as soon as a lead comes in, you should be calling them within 2 minutes. If 5 minutes have passed, they're probably onto another property search site or doing something else. So you always want to make sure that you have the best speed to lead possible, especially for any lead that comes in from an internet ad. So you'll also want to have a smart plan set up so that you can have some kind of automated follow-up or tasks that are assigned to you to reach out to these people consistently. So if you've been to any of my other trainings, you know that my whole philosophy is you follow up with everybody until they die or you die. So I have a smart plan built that's fairly aggressive in the beginning, but then tapers off and turns into a quarterly call after a while. So I'm just going to choose that one. Now, the one that I use is called the Shift Internet Lead Follow-up, and this is all ready to go. So that this smart plan, if you download it from the library, it's already branded to you. It's got the content created. It's just going to create those tasks and give you a sample conversation to have. So kind of bullet points of what you want to talk about or do on the call. It's all focused around setting an appointment with the person that clicked on it. So quick introduction, find out why they clicked on it, and get them in for an appointment or a private showing of the property. I can add multiple smart plans here, but I'm just going to do this one for now. And to download this, you just go to your smart plans inside of Command, go to the library, and you can search for Shift Internet Lead, and that will bring that right up. DBA logo, we have to have it on everything, so using it as the default there, that'll ensure that you're compliant. That's really it as far as creating it. You can do these within 10 minutes your first time. The second time you run one of these ads, you can do it within 5. So you can just create these very, very quickly and easily. The AI really helps make it a lot easier because I can't write like that. But it is definitely great. So just to recap of what we've talked about, we did our targeting, we chose the address for the property, chose the media type, we did the text here, and the most important thing is this headline, which is the largest text on this ad. This is what we want to use to entice them to click on it. Got our URL correctly. We've got what happens once they come in as a lead, and we're going to click on proceed to last step. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the leads that come in from Facebook ads. So typically, whenever somebody is seeing this, they're just seeing it because they searched for homes or did some kind of a search previously that makes Facebook think that they're likely to buy a home within the next several months. Now, these are not very high intent leads. They're on Facebook scrolling through their friends, family, cats, memes, everything else but searching for a property. So if you're able to get them from here, reaching out to them immediately, don't be discouraged if they don't answer the phone for the first 10 calls. It takes a while because they're not super high intent leads. They are typically incredibly expensive, but the conversion time is typically several months out. So you do have to be consistent with your follow-up, and that's really where the gold comes in. If you wanted to run ads for high intent leads, doing a Google search ad would be a much better option. Now, with that, they're much more expensive on average. They are high intent though, because they're going to Google and typing in, I need to sell my house or houses for sale in my area. They're actively typing that information in and they're looking for an answer. And if you're at the top of the page with your ad with the answer and they click on it and they provide their information, that's pretty high intent. So those typically close a lot faster. They are typically on average around $50 to $60 per lead though. And the barrier to entry to run an ad to be successful with it is fairly expensive. I wouldn't recommend anything under $500 a month, and that's still on the low end. So Facebook ads are great. There is a bit more follow-up involved with them, but the cost per lead, you really can't beat the ROI. So I'm going to click on proceed to last step. And this is when I want to run this ad. So I know previously our guidance was $30 for 10 days. It's increased fairly considerably since then. Typically, now we recommend around $50 for about 7 days. You will get leads and you will get quality ones with that budget. However, the more you spend, the better quality leads you're going to get, and the more leads you're going to get as well. Now, Facebook ads and really any ads, they're not a straightforward auction system where you take turns, with your budget, it's your turn, you have your $5 and you're ready for that lead. The way that it works is based on who is spending the most for those specific types of people for that audience. Um, so the higher budget, the better your ad's going to do in terms of quality as well as quantity. The best analogy for how these ads work is, let's pretend that we're at a convention and everybody in this convention sells glass cups. And you're one of the vendors in there with your glass cup stand. Um, and you're selling the same thing to anybody that walks in wanting to buy one. Now, there's a bouncer at the front door that knows everybody in this city and exactly who needs to buy a glass cup, who wants to buy a glass cup, and then there's some people that he just doesn't know. But 90% of the people, he knows exactly what they're in there for. So if you make friends with that guy, he's going to send everybody to you. So if you spend a lot of money to that person, to the platform, you will receive the most leads because they typically know through their analytics who's going to fill out your form, who needs to actually transact, and they want to give those to the highest bidder. So the person that has more money inside of their campaign. Now, that's not to say that some people that do come through that door, he doesn't know at all and they do have high intent, and you might get those, but they're going to be fewer and more far between than having him send those people to you directly. So that's the best analogy for it. Basically, the more you spend, the better the results. Also, your speed to lead matters a lot. So always make sure that you reach out to these people immediately. As soon as a lead comes in, you should get a notification in command. You can click on it and you can tap the call button there and it'll dial directly out to those people. So with that being said, we're going to do 216 to 221. That looks good. $50 budget. That looks great. $8 a day. I usually like to get it to around $10, and that's kind of the base. So you'll get some really good leads and you'll get quite a few with a $10 per day ad spend. You would put in your billing details, so I can click on add a different card. Now, I'm not going to type my card number in there. I trust you all, but I'm just not going to do it today. You can also enter a promo code if you have it, and you just hit purchase now, and that'll start running. Once you do purchase now, it will go to Facebook for a review. If you haven't had anything that doesn't have to do with real estate, you're not talking about alcohol or anything inappropriate, typically it'll get approved there. It'll be done within 24 hours. I typically see just a couple of hours, and they're approved and live. So that is how you run one of the Facebook ads in the new paid ads experience.